First and foremost, before we get started, I like to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rekah Quadash, and double honors to those great millstone, while unto his truth, and also to those Philat that scattered abroad. I like to say, Shalom. Come back here today with another great, powerful lesson through the spirit and the power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. And the type of the lesson is World War III news update. So I like to say shalom to all our listeners and learners. Hope to sweep you today and guide you back in the path of righteousness and back to your true power. Which in fact is Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. So before we get started, I have a few news articles, but we get this one first by AP, Associated Press. We're just going to read a little bit of this report so we already know what's going on between Israel and Iran. We see that things is constantly escalating. Things are constantly are boiling out of control. Things are happening. The Lord is gathering the nation. Pretty much all these nations are preparing for war. So a lot of Bible prophecies are popping off left and right. We're here. So let's start here with this report right quick. We know that things are getting ready to get more increase. This tension, this retaliation against Iran is going to be a broader war, which in fact is World War III, the last and final war right before the great and glorious return of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. So let's get this here. AP, Associated Press, it said breaking news. It said Israeli strike in Iran has killed at least 406 people and wounded 654 others, said a human rights group says. It says here, it said Israel strike Iran nuclear sites and unalive top generals. Said Iran retaliates with missile barrage. So that's exactly, they're going constantly going back and forth. So this has already been prophesied, that the Lord is constantly causing these things to happen, moving the chess pieces around. So when you go to Joel chapter 2 and I think around verse 20, we'll get there too also, that the Lord says he's going to remove the northern army far from their border. So we already know at some point that America is going to get involved. And also we need to see that these nations are constantly coming into alliance against the West and NATO, so we're seeing these things are happening left, right, and also Israel. So these things are coming at a fast pace. Let's see. It says here, Dubai said United Arab Emirates. It said Israel launched a blistering attack on the heart of Iran nuclear and military structure Friday, deploying warplanes and drone previously smuggled into the country to assault key facilities and kill top generals and scientists. Israel asserted the barrage was necessary before its adversaries got any closer to building an atomic weapon. So although experts and the U.S. government have assessed that Iran was actively working on such a weapon before the strike. So Iran retaliated by firing waves of ballistic missiles at Israel, with explosion flared in the sky over Jerusalem and Tel Aviv, and shook the buildings below. Said the Israeli military urged civilians already rattled by the earlier waves of missiles to be heard to head to shelters as missiles damaged homes and unalived two people. So we're seeing that this thing is constantly picking up left and right, and also it said it unalived a lot of top leaders, top generals, and also scientists. Iranian scientists and their leaders. So this thing is constantly spiraling out of control. And also now there's Iran is saying that there are no more peace talks. It is what it is. So now China is rumors that China is warning Israel and also the U.S. and they constantly keep up with this retaliation going against Iran, they say they're going to get involved. So the Lord is causing these things to happen. And also, Donald Trump constantly, saying that he's denying that he has anything to do with it. But we are not ignorant of Satan's devices. So it's already reports that he gave Israel the okay to go head on into Iran. This is exactly what they want. But once they go in, and once America get involved, so Israel and America will be both desolate. This is what the Bible said. The Lord is getting ready to judge this place. You know what I'm saying? One thing about it, he get ready to judge uh, America, and also he get ready to judge this Israel. You know what I'm saying? Which in fact are the fake Jewish peoples. They will put it like that. So the Lord is going to cleanse that land with that fervent heat. So we knowing that Israel will be nuked, and also America will be nuked, but Israel will be rebuilt back up. So we know that America will be totally desolated, and there will be no inhabitant left there. So we're seeing that now, that the least of the flock, which in fact is what Israel, which in fact is what Amalek. You know what I'm saying? So we already knowing that they're constantly rising up. We already knowing right now that, what I'm saying, it's rumors of wars are all over the place. Right now we know that Ww3 has begun. And what the prophets, we constantly been warning you about this, starting with the elders of Great Millstone on down for over 40, 50 years, maybe longer than that. So these things right now come in full tuition, so these prophecies are what are speaking loud and clear. So this is very prophetic, what's happening right now. So we seeing these things are constantly happening already. When you go to secondary chapter 15, it'll tell you about the Carmanians, which in fact is Iran, how they gonna get the upper hand. So these things are coming at a fast pace. So a lot of people thinking that America is still strong, but they're in for a rude awakening. So I got another report here too about it's rumors that Iran has activated sleeper cells inside the U.S. It says after the Israel says the U.S. and so let me read this report. So it said Fox News, jumping ahead of myself, said Fox News, this order by Fox News said Iran could activate sleeper cells inside the U.S. and Israel after attack. So this right here was put out about 2 or 3 days ago. It's something that we constantly seeing through the spirit. Let me see, can I pull it up? And it says here, it says sleeper cell. I'm trying to get a little bit of this report, so I don't know if it got anything on it. I don't know if I could get it, pull it up. But so we already know that the sleeper cells already inside of America as we speak. We're knowing that they brought a lot of these different, what you call these migrants, come from all different other countries. Also, it was already rumors that there were young military aged men that were crossing the border ever since last year and the year before that. So, they're already here. They already put in place in certain major cities across America that cause all sorts of chaos. And also we know what's going on in LA, what's going on. They locking down things. They got the Marines there, and also they have the National Guard. So they just had this No King protest yesterday, so there's a few things that came out of that, but we're constantly measuring the time diligently. We already know that this devil's getting ready to put his plan into place. So we already know that the devil's getting ready to fill his belly, his agenda, his plan, so which in fact is total control, lock down everything and make you a petrol slave, that badge of servitude, which in fact is that grain of rice, the RFD microchip. The men of the Lord, we constantly warning you about these things left and right. So I don't think it don't say too much of what it has on it. I had another report, but I can't find it right out. Let's see, can I back out of there, see if I can find a little bit more on this report. It says here, let's go to Newsweek. Let's see what Newsweek says about it, if I can pull it up. Let's go to this one by Newsweek. It says, no, this one here, that's not it there. But one thing about it that we're seeing right now, that it's going to be, the Lord said he will fill America with men like caterpillar. So, those things are coming, full circle. We already know that America will be invaded by a foreign troop, Russia, China troop in collaboration with NATO, the EU. So these things are coming full circle. Let's see what this says here. It says by Newsweek, it said mega make America great again, warns of jihad sleeper cells in the U.S. after Israel strike on Iran. This one here came out, man. If I can get all these pop-ups to stop popping up, came out June the 4th, 13th. I think this came out Friday, so it's just recent. It says there's several prominent Make America Great Again figures such as Laura Loomer has posted online warnings about unverified potential jihad sleeper cells they claim could be activated in response to Israel attack on Iran. So that's all we're going to get at that. But we seeing right now, we already knowing that they already have these sleeper cells in the place, these Gurga troops, already had these UN troops in certain cities around America. And also, we knowing about these, the Chinese already had certain substations, those small police stations, but they said they had them here so they could get their own people, like people that have what they call it has left China. I can't think of. They had something. I can't think of the name of it. Anyway, they had them here for their own people, but now they say they had shut those substations down, them Chinese substation. But now I think there was one still in L.A. and they said they were warning if this thing go left with this no king protest that they was gonna get involved. So we seeing that right now that China is constantly threatening what the U.S. And also Israel that if they don't stop messing with Iran, that they're going to put something on their asses. So we already know all these things are, is coming full tuition. So we seeing that this tension, this uprising that's going on between Israel. We already know it started back in October the 7th. I think it was it last year or was it back? I think it was in 2023. So it's been going over a year or so. But anyway, it started with the Houthi rebels and Hamas. I think it started with them, and also now it spilled over into this now. So we know that the major players are getting ready to come on the scene. Which in fact is America, China, Russia, and also these Arab nations in collaboration with NATO. So these things are coming full circle. You know what I'm saying? These things are right before our eyes. So now that's another thing I want to get right quick before we get the video. We're gonna get a quick recap also. Let's go here. News break. It said, I just pulled up, said China threatened Israel. I'm just trying to see what it has. It said China could strike U.S. amid Israel-Iran conflict. Gordon Chung warns. So let's see what it says here on this one here. This is by news break. That's something I'm just pulling up. I'm seeing through the spirit. The Lord said, if you see something, say something. The Lord had set up watchmen to warn you of all these impending dangers that is happening at a fast pace. It says here, Iran said being set back on its heels by Israel means that nothing is off the table for China, and its military advances, according to one foreign policy expert. The Chinese, they are losing their proxy. Iran has been accomplishing China's foreign policy goals in quite some time, and China Middle East policy is now in disarray. Said Gatestone Institution senior fellow Gordon Chang said Varney and Company. Let's see what else we got here. He said this is a point where China is suffering a terrible loss in the Middle East. Said he continued that is not going to take that lying down, and said and it's probably going to get Iran or some other party to strike us. So overnight, it said Friday, it said Israel Defense Forces launched a sweeping strike on Iran following months of attempted and seemingly failed nuclear negotiations. So that's where we at. But this right here give me a little something. But I know they're saying that China is threatening, the U.S. So it's right here. It says it's kind of putting their foreign policy, which in fact with Iran in disarray. So we are knowing at some point that they are going to get involved. And also we knowing that Russia is going to become a god to these nations. But that's one of the reports. But it was something else that I was looking for, but I don't think I can find it. But I got a little video, but it's another one I had, but what it said that they may react. Let's see. China reacts to Israel attack on Iran. Let's see what it says here. It said China reacts to Israel attack on Iran. Let's see what this one said. They said China said it is deeply worried by said Israel strike on Iran, and that said it is willing to play a role in this escalating the situation, which threatens to plunge the Middle East region into all-out war. So right there, they saying that they're they ready to to escalate. So at some point, we know that China is getting ready to get involved. So that's all we're gonna get of that. So they pretty much is upset about these leaders, Iranian leaders that was unalive. A lot of things that is constantly picking up. So we seeing that right now these nations are coming in alliance, and a lot of like North Korea already I think sent military equipment. Also they sent soldiers to Iran to aid and help them. And China now they're saying they're going to help. So we seeing that this thing is getting broader and broader. So once America get involved, we already know this all hell is going to break loose. So the least of the flock should draw them out. Draw who out? America. So that's all we're going to get on that. So at some point we know that China is going to get involved, and also we know that Russia is going to get involved also. So these things are coming fast circle. So now let's go here. That's all we got on the news report, on these news articles. Let's go here first. Let's get this quick precept, then we'll start today's video. Let's go here to Ezekiel chapter 3. Let's go to Ezekiel chapter 3 and verse 17. Ezekiel chapter 3 and verse 17. Straight to the point here. It says here, Ezekiel chapter 3 and verse 17. It says, Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore, hear the words of my mouth and give them warning from me. And out of the body, the Lord has set up watchmen. Who are the watchmen? They are the prophet. They're making these video epistles. The one that's in the highways and byways. The one that's constantly blowing the trumpet in Zion. Constantly warn you. Keep not silent. You know what I'm saying? He said, warn them from me. Give them my word. You know what I'm saying? He said, at my mouth. And who is the mouthpiece of Yahweh? The prophets, the one that you are scoffing and mock, the one that you constantly thinking that they are crazy. They don't know what they're talking about. Guess what? These things are coming full circle, being manifest, they being revealed right before our eyes. So the Bible is a true book. These prophecies are speaking loud and clear. Prophetic times that we're in. We're living in some perilous time, and also we're living in the end time. Real time. We constantly warning you left and right. So let's get it in the NLT. It says here, Ezekiel chapter 3 and verse 17 says, Son of man, I have appointed you as a watchman for Israel. It said, whenever you receive a message for me, warn people immediately. That means get on your asses, whether you will hear or whether you will forbear. Because one thing about it, we coming upon some turbulent time. We coming upon some perilous time. Redeem the time wise, because the days are evil. We coming upon what? When you go into evil, you go into an ill time, a bad time. Jacob's trouble, the hour of temptation. We're very close to this time. And also, once again, the second coming of our Lord and Savior and our great deliverer, Yahweh Shah Mashiach, he's getting ready to return. Set everything back into order. So now let's start today's video, and after the video we'll start the lesson, and I hope that you will get edified.
In the next 2 days.
Unfortunately, Joe, I expect in the next 2 days a lot of tit for tat between Israel and Iran. I hope that Iran does not take after American targets, American personnel, American citizens living in Israel or in the broader region. That would be disastrous. If American citizens are hit, then I think all bets are off. Israel has now said, because Iran has targeted civilians in Tel Aviv, Jerusalem, and elsewhere in Israel, that they've crossed a red line, which I believe means that Israel will now go after oil and go after economic infrastructure. Iran will then have to retaliate. And Iran has missiles. It certainly has terrorist activity. Lebanese Hezbollah has said it's not going to take action on behalf of Iran at this time. I think the Lebanese government has asked them to please stand down, but we'll see what the Houthis do. We'll see what Hamas does. And look, we have a situation where President Trump has said he could fix Ukraine. He could fix Gaza. He could get the hostages back. He could do a deal with Iran. None of those things have happened. I feel for Steve Witkoff. One person cannot possibly negotiate all of those things all at one time. And he's not someone who's done diplomacy before. So he's had truly an impossible task. 17 Israelis so far have received treatment from injuries by shrapnel from those incoming Iranian missiles. And the Israeli Prime Minister, as we speak now, is meeting with his security cabinet to assess the situation. His defense minister, Israel Katz, said before the meeting that Iran had crossed a red line, that it was targeting civilian areas. An ironic statement, of course, coming from a minister commandeering a relentless assault on civilian areas in Gaza and also in Iran, as we saw and reported earlier today.
مسلم نیروی مسلح جمهوری اسلامی ضربه های سنگینی بر این دشمن خبیث وارد خواهد آورد و جمهوری اسلامی به اذن الهی بر رژیم صهیونیستی فائق خواهد شد. ملت عزیز این رو بدونن و مطمئن باشن و خاطر جمع باشن که در این زمینه هیچ کوتاهی صورت نخواهد گرفت.
The Iron Dome is now very active in its defense of Israel at this very moment, but it's not perfect. And I would not expect, nor would I have the Israeli people expect that it is perfect. That's why they're sheltering now. I'm sure the entire Israeli population is under a shelter order and certainly a warning by Israeli Defense Forces, but it is a very effective system. And they're very experienced, perhaps more so than any nation in the world, in terms of an air defense system to protect their citizens. But right now, the defense systems, and you can hear them, I think I'm on the phone right now, but they're actively operating to intercept all the missiles and drones that are coming in. And we're going to anticipate this for this evening, certainly over the next several minutes, if not the next couple of hours or so. But again, I would expect that Iran is rather limited in its ability to reattack Israel at this point. But that's easy for me to say. The Israeli people are still in harm's way here, but I anticipate Israeli Defense Forces to put up a very strong defense to prevent these missiles from getting through their layered defenses.
So Iran has activated sleeper cells here in the United States. So if you are out there protesting, please go home. These people that you're trying to go to war for, this is the exact reason why we don't want these people in the United States. Biden let in all these people who are waiting to blow us the fuck up. And y'all are out there fighting for them. Go figure. Go home. And y'all need to stock up. Now. Stuff is about to get real ugly.
So, we're very close. These things, coming fast paced. Let's get a little bit more. I thought it was over with. It's just a little bit more.
And we're probably not going to be able to have TikTok or electricity or anything for that matter. So get your family together now.
Pretty much he's saying get your house in order, but one thing about it, we know that this is all by design, but all by design of who? Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushua. So we already knowing that Israel, they constantly going into Iran, constantly saying that they have some type of nuclear capability, some type of IBCM missile, it's like saying that they are threatening them or they could try to destroy Israel. But we already know this is a part of the plan. They want to take down Iran, but that is not going to happen according to the scripture. So now let's go here. Matthew, let's get a few quick precept and then we'll close out. Let's go here to Matthew chapter 24, straight to the point. Matthew chapter 24. We'll start up at verse 6. Matthew chapter 24, because this is where we at. All kind of rumors of wars are all over the place. It says here, Matthew chapter 24 and verse 6, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. So right now we're seeing that these things right now is coming to pass left and right. War, rumors of wars are all over the place, left and right, threats, all sorts of things, uncertainty. A lot of people right now becoming very afraid, what's coming upon this earth at a fast pace. So we're coming upon these perilous times, rumors of wars everywhere. People, pretty much all these countries are preparing for war. Everyone is choosing a side. But one thing about it, the Lord is gathering the nation. When you go to Ezekiel chapter 38, and also we know at some point that they shall burn the whore, Revelation chapter 17. So we coming upon these times. And also we know that the least of the flock shall draw them out. Israel, Amalek, you know what I'm saying? The Amalekites, we already know what not a Jew, what he's constantly doing. He's a bloodthirsty devil, red devil, and he's going to be totally destroyed. So we know that right now we coming upon a point of no return. And that about it, we're constantly rejoicing because, we know that once America go, we know that that is our salvation. The kingdom of heaven is fast approaching. Our salvation is at the door. Verse 7, it says, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places. So right there, that's what we constantly seeing. Nations are rising against nation, one against another. We seeing that Russia and China, they're constantly against what the U.S. and what in Israel. We seeing that left and right, back and forth. We seeing the U.S. against what Russia and China, and also these other nations, what North Korea. So we seeing that tensions is constantly rising. The nations are constantly, are falling apart left and right. We're seeing that these nations that was at peace with the United States, now they're becoming what their enemy, just like the Bible said. They're getting ready to burn the whore. Who is the whore? America, Babylon the Great. And one thing about it, and also we're seeing what famines get ready to come in land. There's already rumors of it's going to be food shortage, rolling blackout, no internet, no water, it's already saying that, a lot of these jobs are closing down, a lot of things are happening. AI takeover, artificial intelligence, robotics, a lot of things are coming upon a transhumanist. That grain of rice, pestilence, These diseases are constantly breaking out everywhere. Outbreaks here, outbreaks there. That one started some type of, the C19 is constantly increasing, So a lot of things that STD, the flesh eating virus, a lot of things, one behind another. This man is constantly bringing disorder out of chaos, earthquakes every day, earthquakes in diverse places. That's what we constantly see in, on land, also under the water, volcanic activity. Things are constantly happening, fearful sights. All these things are happening. We constantly warn you left and right. And the Lord already said that, hey, he will come like a thief in the night, when you're unaware, when you're not watching. A lot of people are not watching. A lot of people are not paying any attention. But guess what? The Lord is getting ready to get your attention. These things are getting ready to be a global event. Everyone is getting ready to get involved. Everyone is getting ready to make a decision whether they want to or not. Either you on the Lord's side or you on the what? On the devil's side. And one thing about it, we already know who wins in the end. That is Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. So these things are coming upon us. Verse 8, it says, so all these are the beginning of sorrow. So we're in the birth pain. We're in a transition of power. That's why these things are constantly happening through much violence. This place is going to be what? Overthrown through much tribulation. Ye shall enter the kingdom of heaven. That's why the Lord said all these things will come to pass. So this is a measuring stick, for the Lord, what great and glorious return. So we know that we're very close to the Lord's second coming. We're rejoicing because we're almost out of this nightmare. It's almost over for us. Our salvation is at the door. The Lord said, lift up thy head. He said, look up, lift up thy head. Your redemption drawing near and near. UFO sightings are all across the world. Man, we're rejoicing. We're almost at the end of this thing. Hey, man, we're here. So now let's go here to Jeremiah chapter 50. Let's go straight to the point. This is a quick lesson I'm seeing through the Spirit. I see here Jeremiah, one moment. Jeremiah chapter 50. Jeremiah chapter 50. I'm always slow with the blue letter. Salaki for that. Jeremiah chapter 50, I think it's around verse 45. We're going to go straight to the point, the least of the flock. You know what I'm saying? And we're seeing that happening left and right. At some particular time, we knowing that America is going to get involved in this war. But when that happens, the Lord is getting ready to snatch the rug off under their asses. Let's go here. It's right here. It says, Jeremiah chapter 50 and verse 45, he said, therefore hear ye the counsel of the Lord that he has taken against Babylon, and his purpose that he has proposed against the land of the Chaldean. It says, surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them. So that's exactly what's getting ready to happen. So we know once America get involved, get it popping with Israel, they both are going to be desolate together. And one thing about it, it's going to be what totally destroyed. So we know at some point that things are going to go nuclear. Thermonuclear exchange is getting ready to happen. So the Lord's going to return in that day, in a day of gloominess, a day of darkness. The Lord's going to come in the midst of Ww3 and shut everything down. And that's what we constantly longing for each and every day. So right now, we know that their days are numbered. You know what I'm saying? So Lord's getting ready to bring forth that judgment. That destroying wind. Those IBCM missiles, also that laser and chariot fire. When the Lord cracked those clouds in that father's year. Let's go here to Joel chapter 2. So the Lord's getting ready to remove the northern army far from their borders, because these things are constantly breaking out. These things are constantly picking up left and right in the middle of the Lord. We constantly warning you. You know what I'm saying? We're a news reporter for who? Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah. The Lord said, warn them for me, whether they will hear or whether they will forbear. What if some don't believe? The Lord said, I really don't give a damn, because these prophecies are speaking loud and clear. You can't do nothing against the truth, but for the truth. It's better the end of the thing than the beginning. So we at the end of this thing. You know what I'm saying? We cannot wait. We constantly rejoicing. Joel chapter 2 and verse 20 said, but I will remove far off from you the northern army, and I will drive him into a land barren and desolate, with his face towards the east sea, and his hinder part towards the uttermost sea, and his stink shall come up, and his ill savor shall come up, because he has done a great thing. So that's what the Lord is getting ready to do. The Lord is getting ready to destroy the Northern Army, which in fact is America armed forces, which in fact it consists of the Navy, the Marines, the Army, the Air Force, and so forth. So the Lord is constantly. We already seen a major military, military buildup in the Persian in the Persian Gulf. You know what I'm saying? Also in the Red Sea area, a lot of warships are over there. You have America, you have Israel, you have Iran, you have China, you have Russia, all the major players there, also these Arab nations. So all the major players are there. So let's read this once again. It said, but I will remove far off from you the northern army. It's talking about America, armed forces, the army, the Marines, the Navy. You know what I'm saying? The Air Force and so forth. You know what I'm saying? And I would drive them into a land barren and desolate. It's talking about Saudi Arabia. You know what I'm saying? Over there in that desolate wasteland, which in fact is that desert over there. Just like the Bible said, the valley of Jehoshaphat, or the valley of Jehoshaphat. The Lord judgment, the Lord decision. The Lord is getting ready to judge this place. You know what I'm saying? And say with his face towards the East Sea, the Persian Gulf. You know what I'm saying? We already know the Persian Gulf. That's a little bit further up from there. You got the Euphrates River, and also you got the Tigris, and also, not too far up above that is Iran. So, when you go to Revelation chapter 16, around 15, somewhere about there, the Lord is going to drive the Euphrates River to prepare the way for the kings of the East. So you're seeing how these things are constantly lining up, man. The Bible is a true book, and these prophecies are speaking loud and clear. We cannot wait. It says here, it said with his face towards the East Sea. You know what I'm saying? Persian Gulf, and his hinder part, behind him part toward the utmost sea, which in fact is the Red Sea. So we know that America was bombing Yemen down there in the Red Sea down there. So we know that they have a lot of warships down there, and also we know that more is coming. So we already know that things is going to escalate. Ww3 is getting broader, it's getting bigger. So war is imminent, it is coming. But now it says here. It said hinder part towards the most, it says here once again, Salah, it said, and his hinder part towards the utmost sea, which in fact is the Red Sea, and his stink will come up, and his ill savor shall come come up because he has done great things. So the Lord's going to judge them in the valley of Jehoshaphat. When you go to Joel chapter 3, you know what I'm saying? The Lord is going to make a speedy witness of all of them. You know what I'm saying? You know, so these things are coming at us at a fast pace. And one thing about it, that we constantly warning you left and right. The Bible is the true book. And also, you know that they have these sleeper cells in the place. The Lord, the invasion of America. The Lord is devising all these different things. So we're here. It's at the door. So now let's go here to Revelations. Let's go into Revelation chapter 11 and verse 14, because we're seeing right now that these things is coming very quickly. What? The third war, which in fact is Ww3, man. We are here, man. The last and final war, right before the great and glorious return of Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. It is at the door. We constantly seeing it, man. We constantly been warning you left and right. It is here. It is at the door. 11 and 14, Salakia. Let me get there right quick. But we're seeing that these things are here and are full to winches. So we're seeing this escalation, left and right, just like the Bible said. We know it, and once again, we know that Russia at some point is going to be a guard to these other nations. So this war is going to get bigger. It's going to get broader, just like the Bible said. The Lord is constantly gathering the nation for what? The controversy of Zion. So we are right upon judgment. And also the great and glorious return of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. It is at the door. We cannot wait. Revelation chapter 11 and verse 14 said, the second woe is past. Behold, the third woe come quickly. So we already knowing about the second woe is what? World War II. And woe goes into destruction. And said, behold, the third woe cometh quickly. And that's talking about World War III. It's coming very quickly. It's coming at a fast pace. Any given day you can wake up, nukes can be falling each and every day. And also we already know that America is on a high alert. We could, have a foreign troops on the ground at any given time. So we at a point of no return. Also, we know that a time of trouble that we have never seen before. But the Lord said this in Matthew chapter 24. He said, but for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. So one thing about it, the Lord is going to deliver his elect, from one end of heaven to the other. You know what I'm saying? Because we were scattered in all nations. So we already know that we at that time. Famine of the word is fast approaching. And also we know that, all hell is getting ready to break loose. So now, let's go here to Matthew chapter 24. We'll close out here. Matthew chapter 24, and we'll start up at verse 21. Matthew chapter 24 and verse 21. He said, for then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, nor ever shall be. Verse 22 saying that except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. So the Lord is going to come back for his elect, the true believers of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, starting with the prophet, the 144, the men of the Lord that's making these video epistles in the highways and byways, constantly warning you left and right. You know what I'm saying? Whether you will hear or whether you will forbear. And also the Lord, is going to bring forth that supernatural intervention. When the enemy come in like a flood, the Lord's going to lift up that standard. So spiritual power is right around the corner. So the Lord is getting ready to do a lot of amazing things. And one thing about it, in that day, they shall know that he is the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. So we are very close at each time, in that time of calamity. It's very close. The Lord is what? Accelerating times. The Lord is putting the what? Chess pieces into place. We're seeing that these prophets are speaking loud and clear. At the end, it shall speak and not lie. It's not lying anymore. It's not what poloning anymore. The Lord is getting ready to execute, his judgment. It's getting ready to make it very clear, that, hey, that we are here. We're living in the end time, real time. And once again, the title of the day's lesson, once again, is World War III News Update. So I can give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rikah Kwadash. I like to say, Shalom, Shalom.